Hello, everybody, and welcome to GenCon TV TableTakes. I'm your host, along with Javion, Peter, and Noir. Before we just jump into the news and everything, let's go ahead and take a step back, relax, and just kind of enjoy. Today, if you're in the United States, is National Save a Dog Day or Shelter Day. Help an adopted dog, help a shelter dog. Help dogs, help animals in general. It's always good. When you get to just have that time to take a break from a non-stop lifestyle, right? Javion, do you know about like just totally just dedicating your life, never stopping, never
I
stopping,
think
never
I know
stopping?
exactly what you mean, Bonsai. I've been playing Rogue Legacy 2 nonstop. It actually only came out pretty recently, and I haven't been able to put it down. It's just this video game. The first version of it was you were storming a castle, and every time you die, one of your ancestors picks up where you left off with all of your cool loot. Then you're just passing down all this stuff to them. And the new version has all these new classes, new characters with uh, all new lore and new monsters to fight, new areas, like twice as many areas to explore and bosses that are just super unique. And I I can't take my hands off of it. It's just so much fun. I play with a controller on my laptop, which is the way it was always intended to be played. Don't ask anybody else; they'll tell you the wrong answer because I
Mm.
know. I played Rogue Legacy. I got every single achievement on on Steam, on Xbox 360, on PS4, any platform you can find it. I bought. I even beat it on my phone. Anyway, I love Rogue Legacy. It's literally my favorite game. So I've been having a pretty good time this week.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you're having such a good time, especially to indulge in your vice that is Rogue Legacy. And it looks like both Noir and Peter are back home. Welcome back home to both of you. It's nice to see you back, not in hotel rooms. I see you all. So wait, Noir, what have you been up to now that you got time to relax and everything and watch She-Hulk?
I've watched that trailer to death. I'm very excited. Hashtag uppies for the boys. I've discovered what jet lag was firsthand this week. It's the kind of tired where you don't realize you're falling asleep until you wake up. And that's been interesting. And other than that, yeah, it's been a pretty chill week. I was fortunate enough to get access to the alpha of metaverses. So I've just been beating people up as Shaggy. Like Batman's been catching hands, Arya's been catching hands. Like it's been great.
Oh, nice, nice. See, look at that. Everyone's just like games. Games is what my happiness is. What about you, Peter? What have you been up to now that you're back home and relaxed?
Peter
Oh,
can't hear you.
your mic.
There we go. Yeah,
There you go.
I've been trying to get my microphone to work correctly. Yeah. Um, so we launched a new series of Akroki this week. So I've been neck deep in just all the Akroki stuff, like casting. Like we had a first RPG episode, and so we got the 4 actors for the 4 PCs, of course. But then in the course of the episode, the DM had them meet like 6 different NPCs, and I'm like, okay, time to go casting. Oh, and 2 of them are children. Oh, that introduces all sorts of new lovely challenges to the casting process. But that's the fun of Akroki. So yeah, that's what I've been.
Oh, that's so you're gonna be so I'm what I'm hearing is that you're going to be locked in the editing room next week and just like never escape. Is that what
Yeah,
it is? That's what
yeah,
that
yeah. That's yeah. So we're casting these. We'll film them next Wednesday night, and then I'll be editing for the next week. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. But it's fun.
well,
I love it. I'm not complaining. I love it. A lot of fun.
you do what you it's because you're doing what you love that you're working so hard at it, that's all what we can all wish for.
That's right.
And speaking of which we all like really really love dedicating, because I know there seems to be like a theme. Everyone's just like really into games and all kinds of stuff. What could we do at Table Takes to make sure that our love of gaming connects with everyone here on the show? Oh, wait, hold on. Did you all know that we have an episode tonight on TableTakes? We got game night, and it's going to be GM'd by this very terrible, horrible human being. Wait, am I pointing right?
Mhm.
No. Yes. Yes, there you go. Javion, why don't you tell us about this game that we were strictly told not to look anything about. Go ahead, give us the rundown.
Welcome to Parsley, everybody. This is a fantastic game written by Jared A. Sorensen. And, well, I'm sure you've played RPGs before, at least know what they are. And typically in those kinds of games, you can just do whatever you want to. You get to play your own character, and everybody else is playing their own character. And everybody's having a good time being cooperative, and that's super fun. In this game, you are emulating, is a good word, emulating a computer text-based adventure. They were very popular back in like the dawn of computer technology and when the internet wasn't as advanced as it is now and gaming technology wasn't as advanced. So you could only play with just words on a screen and your computer sort of interpreting the commands that you would submit to them to play an adventure. And it felt very open-ended. It was very adventurous. It was very cool. Well, you're going to get to do that same thing in Parsley. You talk to me, the GM, and you're going to tell me commands and how you want to control the character, but everybody's playing one character together. So it's very fun. It's very exciting. And there's a very special surprise inside the book that I'm saving until we start the game. And I cannot wait to show it to y'all, but you're going to have to tune in later at 3:30 to see it.
Oh, yes. So please, for real, like hang out. I'm going to be there. Peter's going to be there. Javion's going to be there. We're kicking Noir out because, whatever, it's Noir.
Oh, no,
I'm just kidding. No, Noir, come back.
I'm sorry, buddy. We're just gonna give you a break this week, so you could focus on all of the many things that you have on your plate.
I am texting Banzai's dog about this.
No,
not Boomer.
All the boomers gonna start barking now. But yeah, also who's joining us in there is gonna be Derek and Sarah. Derek, of course, our Warhammer specialist, dedicated all Warhammer all the time. And then, of course, Sarah Moore, who you know from Sarah's Table, is going to be joining us. So we are all going to totally work together and not make a mess of things and totally not die of dysentery. Because that's what happens in those games. You die from dysentery, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And every single one of them, yeah.
Every time.
Every single one of them.
100% guarantee.
Super guarantee. But, so right after this show is going to be that show. And then also, Peter, you got a lot of news because you notice we've been doing a lot more things here on GenCon. Peter, what do you think is, we're grabbing attention somewhere. What does that mean for the future of GenCon TV?
Well, we are getting some love and recognition from a couple of game companies who are saying, wow, GenCon TV is pretty cool. Would you guys like to play our games on GenCon TV? And we're going, well, if they pass the mustard, we'll check them out and see how good they are, And so we've been doing this. We have had sponsored games from Bezier Games and from Underdog Games and also from Upper Deck. These are all been played on the Brothers Murph, board games with Brothers Murph. So that's great. And Upper Deck just extended their relationship with us. So we're really happy to be playing Legendary Marvel, Legendary Bond, and so on. So and just today we signed a new deal for sponsorships of some role-playing games from Modifius. And so we are going to be running Dune, we are going to be running Star Trek, and we're going to be running Fallout, and we're going to be running Achtung Cthulhu. Careful, Javion. go back to playing Rogue Legacy while I talk to about Cthulhu for a moment. Okay, I'm done. So Sarah is going to run the Dune and Fallout RPGs on Sarah's Table during June and July timeframe, and I'm going to be running Star Trek. Yeah, you know I'm a Star Trek fan. I can't wait. And also Achtung Cthulhu because, Javion, shh.
Yeah, you can just leave me out of that one. You guys have fun with your Lovecraft and whatnot.
Yeah. Javion is not a Cthulhu fan. I learned today. That's okay.
I just too scary, too spooky for me.
Is it just the undulating tentacles? That's a word we got to bring back. Undulating.
Yeah. So I've been talking. But Javion and Bonsai and Noir will all be joining me along with Sarah Moore as the flag officers of a starship in the Star Trek universe. What could go wrong? It's going to be crazy.
We're a great crew. How dare you even accuse anything could go wrong?
I love the idea that you play in an RPG and fresh out to the gate. It's the first scenario, you could be a captain of a Starfleet ship. That's just great. I mean, why mess around? So anyway,
solve problems with my phaser.
Yeah.
Can't wait to fight Noir for control of the captain's wheel.
I'm sending this bad boy to stud.
No, but those are all really exciting things that we're going to be having for the upcoming days. As you can see, we're all really hyped about it because we love role-playing games, and the more we get to nerd out and share that with y'all, then the more we can enjoy together. You know what is also something that we could enjoy together? I feel like a sweet, something sweet, some sweet new detail to kind of maybe something chocolatey. What do you think, Peter?
Yeah, I mean, the holidays are coming up on it. Actually, the holidays are quite a ways away. But yes, I agree. Nothing says summertime like chocolate. So Chase Carter at Dicebreaker has dropped the news that Plan B Games is coming out with a new Azul game. I mean, guys, I think we've announced an Azul expansions almost every episode of TableTakes the last 2 months. This is the Master Chocolatier is Azul Game. Now, it's not really a new game mechanics wise. The game plays exactly like the traditional Azul, but all the tokens are replaced with different types of, you guessed it, chocolate, right? And chocolate themed board games. And I guess instead of having the glass factory, it's a chocolate factory. And if you spill the glass, instead of spilling glass, you spill the chocolate. And probably take shame damage from that. And so that's coming out. I mean, if you need, Bonsai, I think you were worried about eating the chocolate pieces. No, you can't eat the plastic pieces.
You can't?
Don't eat the chocolate pieces. It's
but
chocolate themed.
There should be, if it's going to be chocolate themed, my idea is that there should be one limited edition copy or one you could buy that is chocolate that you could play, and then you eat the chocolate pieces that you get there. Yes, there. Make it chocolate, please.
I can't refuse that. I can't argue against you on that. And I think the TableTakes hosts are united on this issue. Okay, I'm getting back to them with a memo. Plan B. We need to go to Plan A, which I'm sure was make actual chocolate pieces.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what we need. This is going to be for the production staff. You hear to hear. Peter said we're going to have to we're going to buy this game. Then we're going to recreate it with actual chocolate pieces, and then we get to play it and eat the chocolate. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Marcus,
we need chocolates. We can call it the Chocolatier Master Chocolatier Legacy Edition.
A game so sweet you can only play it once.
You can eat
I like
the game
it. I like it.
You know what?
There you go.
You should try the Catan chocolate expansion because it comes with real chocolate that you can play with and eat. So all your dreams inside a trapezoid-shaped box, Bonsai.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Because if there's a way for me to eat, you shouldn't eght board games. Okay, let's go ahead and put that on as an asterisk. Please don't eat board games. But if there's an option to eat the board game.
Yeah, what she's saying. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, what Bonsai's saying, right. Exactly. That's all I got about this, Bonsai. I took that as far as I could.
No. It's still really, really cool. And I like, more as more and more things come out and we get more fun ideas of how to interact with games. And, who knows what like the world has to unveil, in the next coming areas. What about you, Javion? Do you know what anybody else has to unveil coming up
Uh,
soon?
yeah, Wizards of the Coast has some very exciting news to share about Magic the Gathering Dominaria United. We've all been very excited for the absolutely colossal amount of Magic the Gathering products coming out, releasing this year. And Dominaria United is coming very soon. And we finally have a little bit of an update on the products and the product line details for Dominaria United. So, for some of you who are maybe not up to date on your Magic the Gathering lore, Dominaria is a plane on the world in Magic the Gathering where it all kind of started. And so this is sort of a revisiting of the set that came out in 2018 called Dominaria. This one's Dominaria United. So we're gonna revisit some of the characters and locations and creatures and monsters and stuff, while also adding a bunch of new things to unite these different planes at the place where it all started. So the biggest announcement that we have is that Dominaria United Jumpstart boosters are going to be available when the the product line releases later this year. So Jumpstart is actually a great way for new players to jumpstart into Magic the Gathering. All you have to do is get 2 or 4 packs of Jumpstart, and you have enough cards to play Magic the Gathering. It's great for beginners. It's great for people who are trying to play some Magic the Gathering but don't exactly want to spend a whole bunch of money crafting a deck. You literally get not pre-made decks, rather randomized but still balanced booster packs that you open and come with all the cards you need in order to play Magic the Gathering. So you're getting a new booster set of Jumpstart specifically with Dominaria United. So, of course, familiar to many fans of the Magic the Gathering franchise, you're also going to get the collector booster packs, which come with 5 to 6 cards of rarity rare or higher. All packs have a 2% chance of containing a foil borderless mythic rare planeswalker card, the ultra rarest of cards. And each of them comes with 15 magic cards and a foil token. And you can get 12 boosters in a single box. Now, we're also going to see, of course, the regular draft booster packs and displays, as well as the set booster packs, which are just a little bit different. Set booster packs, you know exactly a little bit more information about what you're getting from them. Better for people who are just looking to get good stuff. The bundle is coming with, of course, 20 foil basic lands as well as non-foil basic lands, some art promo card, a big storage box for your cards to go into, spin down life counter. Everybody loves bundles, super fun to open. We're also getting Get the Dominaria United Commander decks. They are 100 card ready to play decks that come in case configurations of 4 decks. So each one contains a foil etched display commander, 2 card collector booster sample pack, 2 foil traditional cards, and 98 additional non-foil Magic the Gathering cards for playing Commander. Super, super fun. Great if you want a ton of cards that are really, really cool to play with in a bigger version of Magic the Gathering than standard. And then finally, we also have the pre-release pack. The pre-release packs are coveted. You have to get them during the pre-release week, September 2nd through September 8th. Go to your local game store to pick one up with your draft booster packs, and with a foil year stamped rare or mythic rare, a spin down die, and a deck box. Super, super cool stuff. I hope you guys are all excited for the new Dominaria United pack, or product line rather. It's sure to be a huge hit, just like many of the products that usually come out around this time.
Yeah, those sound like massive decks and builds. Like, I like it when you include the spin down counter and like some of the extra features. What do you think, Peter Noir? What do you think of these like huge sets of gigantic? You want to start playing Magic?
I mean, Dominaria is one of the sets that I came back to when I took a break from Magic. Has one of my favorite cards in it, Teferi. As for the bundles that they're kind of putting together, like, yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for any kind of pre-made stuff where I can just kind of tear it apart and make a deck on my own, but I don't have to start from zero. So yeah, this is the exact kind of thing that I like. So I'm glad to see them doing that.
I mean, it's Magic. Magic's amazing. It's a great game. I mean, if this helps some people get into it, great. Cool, fun, nice.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Thank
yeah,
you.
no, it's just like it seems like as a package deal, it's good to get kind of people hooked on things, or at least just give them kind of like a glimpse or a little taste of like what they can get. What do you think, Noir? Do you think like people can grow into like a taste for things, when they get a little glimpse of things?
I can't tell if you're trying to transition or not.
No, this is definitely a transition, but I kind of wanted to pretend it wasn't so we can see how far it goes. Yes, I do believe people can grow. In fact, I've seen it. Game Workshop is giving us a glimpse of Lady of Vines. Those devious Skavens have done the unthinkable. They've broken into the Everspring Swath and made off with a punnet of soul pods. Echoes of Doom is the next battle box for Warhammer Age of Sigma, and it's coming to pre-order this weekend. So, accompanied by the treacherous Deathmaster, the chittering horde of rat men are eager to make good on their escape and put their precious haul of spiritual essence to use in various schemes or others. Unfortunately, some of their short-sighted fools are opposing this great, perfect, and incredibly brilliant plan, and they have the wrath of the forest on their side. In this pack, you're going to see a towering, tree-tentacled warrior that is the Lady of Vines. She's Ariel's seneschal and right-hand woman, literally. The lady was born from the severed hand of the goddess back in the early days of the Realm Gate Wars, when the Everqueen was flushed with the summary powers of war. But don't worry, her hand has grown back, and I'm looking at this figure, you guys, and it's sick. Just an extremely tall, beautifully crafted figure with like tree limbs that look like Doc Ock. And she's holding a spear in her hand. Yeah, this is cool. This is cool enough to make me want to buy it, even though I have no intentions of like using a tree army in my Warhammering. I just love the way it looks. Personally, I'm going to always stick to my my Chaos Space Marines and Death Angels, but that's neither here nor there. This is extraordinarily awesome. Like I said, you can pre-order it this weekend. Just beautiful sculpture. Warhammer always does a great job with their models. And I believe this one comes pre-painted, but I would love to see what some folks could do with their own imaginations and color schemes for the Lady of Vines. Because this is just begging for some like really cool upgrades.
Maybe we can get Kathy to paint it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we could get Kathy.
I did hear that Kathy paints.
Yeah.
Word on the street.
I think every Wednesday, correct?
At least.
Or no, Tuesdays. Sorry. I like that segue there, that little but no, honestly, please listen to Noir. Click on that link that we just posted in chat. This model is fantastic and beautiful. It just has that. I just like models with like really good action shots where you can totally see she's just like wrecking people.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I use a lot of Warhammer figures for my D&D table, and I'm like, yes, Lady of Vines, really awesome. I love it in that context. But oh yeah, this is gonna definitely be an evil dryad that hits my table. Like that's exactly what this is.
No, it's really, I'm just really glad that, that you're such a fan of these, Noir, because I feel like fans really can dedicate their time and make the best of things and just,
there's
run
so
with
many,
it.
there's so many fans. It's not like it's The Last of Us,
No, I don't know. Javion, do you think there's just like, no end, no Last of Us of fans to see, huh?
Yeah. Definitely. Oh, you're talking about my next headline. Oh, yeah. So, for all you out there who love video games as much as I do, perhaps you've played a game called The Last of Us. They came out with their first game many, many years ago, and even more recently in 2020, The Last of Us 2 came out. Well, fans love the franchise so much that they made their own board game, and it's free. That's right. It's a print and play board game made by fans of the series. From designer Walt Carlson, the Last of Us board game, well, the unofficial Last of Us board game, lets up to 4 people take on the roles of the characters from all of the 2 Last of Us titles, plus the DLC that came out with the first one. So what's interesting about this one is that it runs for about 30 to 90 minutes in competitive and cooperative scenarios. And each of them comes with a different map layout, unique rules, and different win conditions. Rather than taking place during any fixed point in the video game's multi-year timeline, this board game actually spans the entire series. So you can play scenarios from the first game, or you can play scenarios from the DLC or from the second one. And you can kind of mix them up. I really like that they didn't shy away from the very controversial second game, and they added in a lot of the characters that we recognize, or that at least I did, from that second series, like Abby, and a couple of the other new ones that have taken on Ellie's mission to seek out revenge. Well, I don't want to spoil anything for people who maybe haven't played the second game, but if you haven't and you really like the first one, you should definitely check it out. So this game follows The Last of Us focus on survival horror gameplay. Now, I know that I've said very vocally many, many times how much I am averse to horror, but this one...
Just today you said that. Just today.
I did.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Yeah.
But this game has a lot more of a focus on the heart of the characters. It's a little bit more action-packed. It's about survival more than like jump scares or like, I don't know, strange mythical things that are gonna like bend your mind in ways you didn't expect and things like that. It's a little bit more down to earth, even though there are mushroom mutant zombies flooding the earth. The game is completely free, completely downloadable. All you have to do is head on over to the Instagram account in the link that we put in chat, and you can print it out and build everything yourself. However, there is a little bit of a disclaimer from the creators. It will take you an hour to build this and print everything out and put it all together. But the detailed instructions are very, very handholdy. Like they're going to help you through everything. If you get really high quality cardstock, it's going to feel great. All the boxes fit together really well, and they have so many different highly visualized art pieces that they've added in with all the love and care of a fan-made game. So definitely check this out if you really like the Last of Us game like I did, or just check out the video game. If you have a PS4 or the highly coveted PS5, I'm sure you can get a digital copy for next to nothing. And I'm sure you're gonna love it as much as I did, because I am absolutely obsessed with the Joel and Ellie story.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, let's go ahead and like I guess what's interesting about this is not only the amount of detail that this person made to Walt Carson made for this Last of Us board game. Like, I guess I'm gonna kind of pick your brain, Peter, because you're somebody who has worked in the board game industry and such. What do you think when like maybe something that you have the IP of gets made into a game without permission but isn't sold, but it's a very beautiful game? What is your feelings behind it, even if there's no profit to the person?
Well, is it his IP? That's what's confusing to me. I mean, like if it's his IP and he designed this board game and he's letting people make the board game from his IP, that's great. If it's somebody else's IP, I don't know. They might take offense to that.
Oh, so yeah, it's not. So the thing is it's not. He's just a fan, or this person. Sorry, I don't want to. This person's just a fan, and they made it. That's like, I mean, they are giving it away for free. It's just that yes, this is a big title game.
I mean, it's an interesting question, you know, I mean, it comes down to how does the company who owns the IP feel about it? Because if the company owns the IP, lets him do this, and he makes this game and sells, I mean, and a lot of people play it, it's potentially cannibalizes the market for the IP owner to make their own game. I don't know, it's tricky stuff. On the other hand, you know, IP owners want fans doing cool things for their games too. So that's a tricky question. It could go either way.
Yeah.
No,
Noir?
a really interesting. Sorry, just a quick thing. A really interesting thing to note is that the designer, Walt, actually didn't know about the Last of Us board game that was released by Simon. Um, it's the same publisher that made Zombicide and Blood Rage, and it was actually announced back in like late 2020. And he started work on this and had no idea that the game had existed, and he had like been working on it for a while. So it just goes to show, like, for some of these things, a lot of people can get really interested and just get really gung ho and start working on something. And a lot of stuff doesn't really hinder them, like easily they could have got like a cease and desist and this whole thing could have gotten shut down, but managed to persevere through all of it. And now it's a really good looking board game.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you know, this is gonna be great for his resume. Yeah, if I'm the IP holder of The Last of Us and I see that this is doing well, I hire this guy. Like that. That's the way I see it. I mean, because clearly he's got clearly they have the passion for the material and the talent.
Yeah, we call that an aqua hire, acquire and hire,
There you go.
Acquire the game and hire the guy,
Yeah. I'm sure it'll all work out.
Who knows?
Yeah, no, I was just more interested in the like, because it is sometimes fans make something fantastic, and that should be a big sign for a lot of these companies, especially if they have somebody so passionate about their particular product, to maybe think about scoop into the fold.
I mean, this stress that sometimes happens between IP owners and fans is always fascinating. I mean, it's existed in the history of D&D back in the day when the internet was new and fans were producing D&D materials on the internet. TSR was pretty heavy-handed about like, no, this is our intellectual property. You can't do that. Then, of course, attitudes changed. And you can, there's a long history of stress between Star Wars, whoever owns Star Wars, Lucasfilm, or whether it's Disney, and the Star Wars fandom, which is very well organized and very vocal. And, so, yeah, it's an interesting topic.
Yeah, no, it is. And maybe we'll branch off on that in a more like a later episode, but more of things, there's a lot of things like in terms of like gaming history, especially fandoms, like finding ways to play games. I feel like one of the bigger problems is finding a DM or GM, especially if you're all by yourself in an area. What do you think, Peter? Is there a solution for that?
It's a huge issue. Take it from me. I was raised in Idaho. When I started playing D&D, I didn't know anybody who played D&D. I had to start my own group, and the poor people in my group, they got stuck with me as the DM. I was the only DM around. But now those same players in Idaho can be playing with people all over. Okay, so there is a company out there. It's called StartPlane. And maybe you've heard of this because they have been around for a couple of years. They got started in 2020 during the, as the pandemic was kicking off. And now this company has 600 game masters that you can go hire to run game for you. So you can use this. So they have an interface where you can go on and talk about what sort of game you want, whether it's a one-shot or a campaign. Do you already have a group and you're just looking for a dungeon master, or are you flying solo and you want a join an existing group? What sort of play style do you have? Just all and filter versus other sorts of things like this. So this is pretty cool, and it's cool enough that according to Dean Takahashi at VentureBeat, they have raised $6.5 million of professional money to invest in the company and grow the company, and as a startup capital. So this is pretty interesting. It's also kind of intimidating. Because like I just waiting for like when I run my next game and players are gonna like, hey, where are the fog effects?
Where's the voice changer?
Yeah, where's the where's all the lighting? Where's the music? I don't use any of that stuff, but I think it's kind of cool that that there will be sort of economic market pressure now to create a sort of cadre or community of dungeon masters who are pushing the envelope about how entertaining a RPG game can be. Yes, it's intimidating, but that's cool for the future of our hobby. Because whenever you get people competing for money, that's where innovation tends to skyrocket. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens out of this. But I'm just going to keep playing the way I play, and hopefully my friends will deal with it. So don't expect any transporters or any music in the Star Trek game. We're just going to show up. Theater of the mind, baby. Theater of the mind.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go
ahead.
I was just gonna say, I know Devin, who's the co-founder of StartPlane Games, and I remember when he like sent me a DM, like, "Hey, I'm starting this little thing," and now like seeing where it's gone to and seeing how it operates, and watching GMs get more confident in their own abilities to the point where they're like raising their prices a little bit. Like I think that's one of my favorite things, is seeing people starting to believe in their own stuff. Like there are so many conversations on the StartPlane Games forums where DMs are like, "I'm charging $10. Do you think I can get away with 20?" And like people are coming in as a community and bolstering them. So yeah, I love what StartPlane Games has been able to say.
I have a lot of thoughts and opinions about charging money for dungeon mastering, because obviously on the one hand, when you're working very hard at something, you're putting a lot of love into something, it is fair to ask to be fairly compensated. I think when I think about charging for the thing that I am passionate about and I love doing, I would feel a little bit guilty asking the people I know who I'm already playing with how much I'm getting out of it already is enough for me. But Peter, I would say I don't think you're going to have to worry too much about production level expectations being super high for other people, because with a company like this, 600 game masters, I can't imagine even the fact that they're playing online alone tells me that people are getting more and more well versed with using virtual tabletop systems or finding creative ways to make their games fun online without doing as much work as, well, maybe you would expect someone who's getting paid to do something like this would actually be doing.
That's the point. If I'm not charging people to play my game, I could say, "Hey, you want smoke effects? You gotta pay for it.
You want those upgrades, you gotta unlock them.
You're getting me for free."
Well, thank you for the gift that you give us, Peter, of your presence.
I didn't you. I mean, I was just like talking out.
Sure.
But I feel like this is a great option for everybody. Like I just said, I've had hard time finding GMs, DMs, or however you want to say it, storytellers. And also I do like promoting that people can do this professionally, and professionally can immerse you into a world, especially if you're somebody who just wants to try out a system, don't know anything about it, and like will take a whole week or two to read all the rules versus just having somebody who has the research. This is like, I have taken the necessary time of my life to go ahead and present you. Either case, you get what you want. And if you want that kind of service, yes, awesome. And I support people making money via that kind of service. And, it's just how it goes. And I support either way if you want. But also, if you GM for me, I will cook for you. This is my standard. If you GM, I cook. I feed everybody who comes over to my house.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah. But yeah, no, as we continue, we get to see that like this, like gaming, board gaming, magic, all of this, the pandemic showed that us like being separated doesn't necessarily stop players from investing and, bringing up like more of like kind of a new ways of, we don't know where this is going. Is this going to be the rise of the nerds? Who knows? It's up to companies to kind of see how things ebb and flow. What do you think, Noir? What does the future of gaming look like?
Well, I'm very glad you asked. There's a very interesting article written by Molly Russell of Wargamer. Says Alta Fox continues its fight with Hasbro as June 8th vote approaches. So Alta Fox, the minority shareholding firm that began its fight to spin Wizards of the Coast off from Hasbro back in February, has continued its back and forth with Hasbro. With an upcoming shareholder vote on June 8th to determine the composition of Hasbro's board, the fighting has increased in intensity. On May 18th, Hasbro released a shareholder letter responding to a number of Alta Fox's allegations and recommending that shareholders vote to retain the current board members. Alta Fox responded the same day with a lengthy rebuttal and a recommendation that shareholders vote to replace 3 of the board members, including the chairman. The basic gist is that Alta Fox's argument. The basic gist of Alta Fox's argument is that the corporate governance at Hasbro is in need of a shakeup. They claim that Hasbro is underinvesting in Wizards of the Coast, devaluing the most profitable division, and simultaneously overinvesting in Hasbro consumer products that aren't producing a great enough return. So that's where we are in the business side of things happening over at Hasbro. And for all of our business insights, we immediately turn to the guy in the know. What's up, Peter? What is your thoughts?
Oh, this is interesting. And I'm going to be very careful what I say. I want a disclaimer. I mean, I have no idea what's happening in the world of Hasbro these days. I do want to immediately discredit any rumors that I am somehow affiliated with Alta Fox trying to retake it.
Was that out there?
I do. Oh, yes, I do get these messages over. Yes, I get emails and messages like, Peter, is this you? Are you doing this? You should. Yeah. No, I'm really happy with what I'm doing at GenCon. I'm not involved in these corporate shenanigans that are going on here. And I have no inside knowledge here, but boy, this does pique my curiosity in a certain ways. Like, first of all, the part of the letter about pushing Hasbro to have better corporate governance. I mean, I can't opine on whether or not Hasbro needs better corporate governance. I loved working for Alan Hassenfeld when I was back there and had a great experience. But I do think it's good in general when shareholders push for better corporate governance. I mean, that's what shareholders should do. That's one of the more, that's a force for forcing companies to be better is for it to come through the shareholders, right? So that's good in principle. The idea that invest heavier in D&D, that's interesting. I mean, Dungeons and Dragons started in 1973, I think. So it is coming up on 50 years. I mean, as somebody who's managed a few brands, I think 50 years, you're in the milk it phase, not the investment. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so there's also questions of like, how do you want to invest more in D&D? I mean, is there smart ways of doing that? I mean, there's lots of good D&D content. I mean, you want a movie? Is Hasbro the right company to make a movie, or should they be funding other people making a movie? I don't know. Anyway, just because a product line is profitable doesn't necessarily, that is not a full argument for investing more money into it. The question comes down to are there good uses for making more money, and what sort of investment would those, what sort of ROI would those investments get? That should be driving your decisions about what brands to invest in and how much. Some brands just need more investment than others, and some brands are doing pretty damn good on their own. So
I suggest that they vote to send me a check. I don't know how that would help, but I would love it. That would be great.
We're available for sponsorship opportunities.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's other, D&D is awesome, and we're not discrediting any future things, but also would be great to see more independent games, come out. Like you said, refresh the market, especially maybe like just more companies trying to do stuff, shake up like the regular fantasy realm,
Yeah. What the market needs is for me to have a Tesla.
Oh my god.
Yes, there you go. All right. So you heard it here. Please, Hasbro, give Noir Tesla. Well, no, give us both Tesla.
Sure.
All of us need Tesla.
I'm so texting boomer. You're in trouble.
No! I'm terrible. I was only, what? With that, I think we could go ahead and just, it's a lot of these are good questions to think about. and to kind of make your own judgment about. We already included all the links to everything that we talked about today to make your own opinions. We're only dedicating, like, saying what we think about particular situations. So I highly suggest if any of these things kind of like, ooh, pique your interest, go ahead, investigate for yourself, and form your own opinions. I think, though, what the more important thing is, you want to know why that handsome man named Javion was on my mind? Because bundle bus, Javion is on the screen.
Quit playing Rogue Legacy and get back to work.
You caught me. I'm just kidding. No, I've been hard at work collecting the information from this bundle to bring to all of you. Yes, the bundle this week is Cypher System 10A. Did you know that this marks the 10th anniversary of the founding of Monte Cook Games? That's right. The Cypher system, famously used to power games such as Numenera and The Strange, both games which are available in this bundle, is having its 10th anniversary celebrated by a bundleofholding.com. So for a very, very low price, $17.95, you get 7 complete current core books and play aids in the rulebook collection that gives you the Cypher System rulebook, the Cypher Character Portfolio, Numenera Discovery and Numenera Destiny, as well as the Player's Guide and Numenera Character Portfolio, as well as The Strange. So if you pay more than the threshold price of $40.43, you'll level up. We all love to level up. And you also get the entire Worlds collection with 12 more titles worth an additional $160 for a very, very huge, steep discount, including 4 genre source books funded in the July 2018 Your Best Game Ever Kickstarter campaign, a book which I actually have on my shelf right over here. So if you want to support the bundle, you'll also be supporting Direct Relief, which is a nonprofit organization, a charity, a pandemic-related charity that sends protective gear and critical care medications to health workers with emergency deliveries to medical facilities all across the US and Canada and to regional response agencies around the world. So, as usual, fight the pandemic, save some lives, and play some RPGs from the comfort and safety of your own home.
Yay, best boss, Javion.
Thank you.
It's okay. With all that warm and snuggly, we bring us back to the court is now in session for crowdfunder court. I, as the judge and jury, is going to announce this Bristol Bay cozy murder mystery RPG. So you solve murder mysteries in a creepy, cozy town. I liked it. It was quote of saying, I think of Murder She Wrote meets H.P. Lovecraft. So this campaign ends May 30th in 10 days, folks. So Brindlewood Bay is a tabletop role-playing game where you play a group of old women trying to solve crimes and slowly become aware of an occult conspiracy in your town. In lieu of combat elements, so like in so many Lovecraftian mystery games, the elderly women like to kind of calm down after they deal with the occult. They do cozy activities, like getting a cup of coffee, knitting a sweater, to kind of just disassociate themselves from the unimaginable evil they just saw. And if things get too heavy, you do this fun little cutback scene where cut to commercial mechanics, where you save your character by narrating a cheesy commercial that would like cut out during these times in these old like movie or like old like Murder She Wrote kind of daytime dramas. So it's just something that's a little bit fun. I just like the idea of old ladies going around dealing with the occult and then going, here, dearie, I made a sweater for you. So the Kickstarter will be releasing with 2 books, all the rules you need to play, and a total of 16 different mysteries to get you going and provide a full-length campaign. So again, Brindlewood Bay Cozy Murder Mystery RPG.
Yay.
Noir. Present
right.
the case. Yeah.
My case is the one that we've been presenting for a while now. Everyday Heroes, our Kickstarter went live this Tuesday. We funded in 15 minutes. And as I look at it here, we're at around $197,000. So thank you so much for the support that you've given already. And if you haven't, perhaps consider doing so, because our Kickstarter ends June 17th. Our Everyday Heroes is a spiritual successor to D20 Modern for 5th edition. And on top of that, we have cinematic adventures included that add more features and rule sets and mechanics to the game. So we have Highlander, Pacific Rim, Rambo, Total Recall, The Crow, Kong Skull Island, and more. So each one of those is going to bring a new class. For example, the Immortal is going to be the class in Highlander. The Spirit of Vengeance is going to be the class presented in The Crow. And these are all modular, so you can put pieces of Highlander, the Highlander cinematic adventure in your Crow cinematic adventure or in your Pacific Rim. So if that sounds interesting to you in the slightest, if you love D&D, but you wish there were more guns and explosives and car chases, this is going to be the one to look for. So thank you for in advance for all the support that you've given, and thank you in advance for the support that you might give if you're interested.
You gotta make your court case.
All right. What I present for the court today is the Artemis Project Satellites and Commanders expansion. So some of you might recognize the title, the Artemis Project, which released a few years ago with a very successful Kickstarter. Well, this marks not only the expansion, Satellites and Commanders, but as well the 2nd edition of the Artemis Project. The Artemis Project is a 1 to 5 player, 45-minute dice placement game in which you are competing to collect building materials and heat resources from underneath the seas of Europa in order to help your team of stabilizers to bring the ultimate prosperity to the Artemis Project. The satellites expansion adds in the satellites, which allow you to orbit the board and allow access to the hovering chariot space stations influencing the moon far above with ever-increasing effectiveness, while the Commanders expansion adds a new status that you can promote your workers into. They can act as any colonist type, lend their power to the dice which you're sending to various locations, and boost your endgame scoring. Artemis Project has beautiful dice, beautiful art components, and lots of Kickstarter exclusive upgraded materials such as the chariot tiles, the 3D satellite tokens, and much, much more. So head on over to the link that's in chat if you want to check out a really cool board game that uses a very unique set of mechanics and already has a very successful Kickstarter campaign with a 2nd edition. And if you already own the Artemis Project, have no fear, because if you back the Kickstarter, you get the upgrade kit, which allows you to change your 1st edition Artemis Project box into the updated rule system, which comes with a lot of changes, such as you're no longer paying a resource fee to send colonists on expeditions, and the start player selection changes to a new system, which I think is actually really cool. Instead of just randomly going, from one person to another, or rather going clockwise or anything like that, you can either accept the role again or pass it to somebody else who can either take some new resources that have been passed along to them or continue passing along until somebody's like, okay, fine, the resources is worth it, I'll go first. It's a very cool looking game. I'm very, very excited to get my copy, and I hope you guys back it soon, because you've only got 14 days left if you want to check it out.
All right. Thank you very much, Javion. And last but not least, Peter, what do you have for the court today?
Well, I would like to present, I think it's always nice to find a Kickstarter that looks really interesting, but hasn't gotten a lot of attention yet. And so for that, I would recommend Reign of Discordia, Reign, R-E-I-G-N, kind of like how Bonsai reigns over the crowdfunding court here. So Reign of Discordia for 5th edition and for White Star. Now, there's a little trivia for you. That's an RPG from way back that I bet most of you have not heard of it. So this is a sci-fi setting. It has aliens, of course, because it's sci-fi, but you can be your aliens. So it's got PC classes that are aliens. Even though it's compatible with 5e, there's no magic. But there is
Ooh.
psionics. Yeah, baby. If you are old school D&D and remember that psionics were like canon standard back in AD&D days, well, you might like this. It's also written by Darren Drader and Owen Stevens, and that's a good duo. They've written some good stuff, and Owen in particular is an excellent writer. He's written a lot of stuff for Pathfinder over the years and other systems. So storylines, you can set up trading routes, fight alien invaders, or carve out your own empire. So I mean, you know, if you've been playing like World War II games because you want to rule Europe, why not rule a whole planet or several planets? Yeah, that sounds good. That's all I got, Judge.
All right, thank you. Those are all excellent Kickstarters and crowdfunding places that you have all presented today, and I will say thank you. I think we have had the adequate satiated of the crowd. But you know, with that is the last of our headlines today, folks. Yeah, and don't forget, right after this is going to be TableTakes game night. So you're going to see a lot of our lovely faces back. And Javion will be torturing us today with whatever surprises he has in store. But hey, we're more than just TableTakes here on GenCon TV. We have a whole slew of shows. And let me go ahead and break down what you can see during this week. Do keep in mind, all of these are Pacific Standard Times. So starting with on Friday, today, coming right after this at 3:30 p.m., we got TableTakes game night. We're playing Parsley. Put a little Salt Bay on that. And then right after Parsley, at 5 p.m., you're going to join us for a joyful gaming around with Sarah's Table. GM Sarah Moore plays Desperation by Jason Morningstar with Jason Morningstar. So we do actually have...
I thought you were going to say me. I was a negative.
You're going to say me.
But also, you know, Peter and Noir are also in there too. No, but yes, you will see all of these lovely faces there. And of course, Sarah is an excellent GM who brings all the love and joy to everything. And I'm sure, you know, Peter and Noir, you will be causing all kinds of trouble. That's what you're supposed to do as player, if I am sure when we establish that. Yes, all the trouble, all the sass.
Yeah, this is the Jason Morningstar game. It's all about misery and
we bring it.
We're gonna bring it all the truth. And then right after, we got Nerd Botry Adventures continuing this Sunday at 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's gonna be filled with D&D, cosplay, and a whole lot of Dwarven Forge. So if that spikes your curiosity, go ahead and check it out. And then, of course, restarting on on Monday, 4 p.m., we got the board games with the Brothers Murph. Join brothers Nick and Mike as they try out the Doctor Strange expansion of Legendary Marvel by Upper Deck. Sorry.
And I got to point out, it's just Nick this time. He's in solo.
Oh, it's just Nick?
Mike had a baby. Actually, I think his wife had the baby, but Mike is on maternity leave.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. We need to send flowers. Where's Sarah?
We gotta go send flowers. All the flowers.
Marcus, send some flowers.
Yeah.
So it'll be Nick minus one brother, but plus a niece or nephew. Yay! So we got to do all the math. But yes, also Tuesday at 4 p.m., Out of Character with Mark Tassin. Sorry, forgive me. And then right after that, 5 p.m., we join Kathy's Paint. Join Kathy Wapple for painting tricks and tips and fun for models. Wednesdays, we got Actor Roki Series 3 at 6 p.m. The Series 3 continues with Mike Bruiser in the DM seat. Thursdays, we got 10 a.m. Blood on the Clock Tower, a social deduction bluff game for 5 to 20 players on opposing teams of good and evil, overseen by a storyteller who conducts the actions and makes critical decisions.
Man, these outros are getting longer and longer.
Yes, they are. There's a lot. Sorry. 4 p.m. Roll with Rem Alternus. Interviews with creators, developers, and Shadowrun. And then, after all of that, we're back here Fridays with Table Talks, and then after Table Talks, game night and Sarah's table. Woo! TableTakes. TableTakes. This is, of course, TableTakes. Don't forget. And don't forget, after this show is TableTakes game night. As you can see, this is why we got sponsors, because we just boom, 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 got all the shows here for your entertainment. Thank you. All of us, or thank you to not only Javion, Peter, and Noir for joining us right now, but also thank you to you guys for watching, not only here, but on YouTube as well. And don't forget, you can check us out, our VODs here or on YouTube as well. Just click a follow on all of those sites, and have a wonderful evening. We'll see you really quick at the game night. Bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye.